put it simply, if too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to handle it, meaning more people are likely to die, not just from coronavirus, but from other illnesses as well. So it's vital to slow the spread of the disease, because that is the way we reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment at any one time, so we can protect the NHS's ability to cope and save more lives. And that's why we've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic. And though huge numbers are complying, and I thank you all, the time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Coronavirus is the opponent no team prepared for this season.
And it goes from Eriksson!
As COVID-19 spreads around the world, the possibility of athletes playing in empty stadiums like these is growing.
And if we think about what kids need, they need routines, they need predictability, and they need adults who are in good shape psychologically themselves. And the problem with this pandemic is that it has disrupted all of the routines the kids are accustomed to, disrupted their summer plans, all the things they thought they were going to be doing. We have very little predictability. Kids are asking, when is it going to go back to normal? What should I expect about the fall? And we can't really tell them.
It's times like this, all of us need to ask ourselves, how best can I serve? What is it that, that I can do to help those around me, my stakeholders? And if you are in a leadership role, there's a lot of ways you can serve right now. People are looking to you to role model the certainty, the courage, the calm that they may be feeling very fragile about themselves. And so I encourage you just to really double down on whatever practices you have that allow you to be grounded in yourself at this time.
So you remember when lockdown started? It was middle of March, wasn't it? I remember I was working February half term before that, about 2 or 3 weeks before, and everything seemed fine. We did a camp in Penafore. There was multi-sports and football. There was about 50 kids overall in the camp in the whole week. We heard little bits about it, obviously. There was no lockdown there, but wouldn't have thought 3 weeks later that would happen, obviously. Big change from going from that to 3 weeks later. And then that happened.
God, yeah, I can remember when lockdown, it was first properly announced. My birthday was the 19th of March, it was on a Thursday. And I remember the day after, it was even that night, it was the Thursday night. Or was it? No, it was Wednesday. It was the day before my birthday, it was Wednesday. It was on the 18th. I was coaching that evening. After I finished coaching, I checked my phone and my phone was blowing up. I was getting all these texts of my friends saying that college is going to get cancelled and they're going to give people their predicted grades because of coronavirus. And I thought, that can't happen, surely. That's never ever happened in the history of education. There's no way. I used to talk to my friends about these situations, imagine if we got our predicted grades because something happened, and then it actually happened. And the day later was my birthday, and on Thursday I went into college. I was in college on a Thursday, even though it was not my birthday. And speaking to the teachers, they were saying, this is your last day, so make sure you've got everything sorted, like coursework. Say goodbye to everyone. And it was a real shock. It was so short notice. All these people that you met for 2 years in college, they're all going off to different universities or starting jobs and apprenticeships, and you've got to basically, just sort of make sure you try and keep in touch with them on such a short notice, especially the teachers as well. The day after that, the college closed on the Friday, and that was when it all started. From that, I was just at home, and I still in my head thought I was going to be going to America that summer, but realistically I said to myself, it's a global pandemic, it's going to be really unlikely that they're going to let me go over to America if this situation keeps on, sort of going as it is. It was 6 days later, I think it was the following week, Boris Johnson, he literally, on his little speech on the news, he said, you've got to stay at home now. And I think that's when it really hit. I started to think to myself, I'm going to have to start to plan things more differently now. It's going to be a real shock. It's something that no one has ever had to deal with, being in a national lockdown. But, and just like everyone else, we're all in the same position. I thought I'm going to have to adapt, my plans. you know, I'm quite a creative person, so I thought, you know, if I got to adapt my plans, you know, I've got to start thinking now. And the earlier I start thinking of what I'm going to do, you know, the more chance I have of thinking of something quite creative and, you know, sort of separating myself from the crowd, you know, doing something different that will obviously make me or allow me to continue to be a role model, but then also benefit other people too.
There's so much uncertainty, wasn't there? I don't think anyone actually really knew what was happening. At first it was such a shock because it's something that's never actually happened. But then I think when people started to realise how serious it was, and then we went into a lockdown, I think there was really some panic then, especially for the business I work in, you know, sports coaching. We really didn't know how it was going to end.
So what's up everyone, my name is Liam Davis, I'm 18 years old from North Wales, United Kingdom, and welcome to the very first video on my YouTube channel. So before we get into the first video, so this is where it all started. April 21st of this year, I came out in my back garden, recorded my first video for this channel. I literally remember the exact day. It was boiling hot outside. I got all my equipment ready, I got my camera out, but I was just super nervous to record the video. And I honestly didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't have much experience of editing YouTube videos at all, so I knew that whatever I recorded, it would probably take me quite a long time and quite a few days to actually edit that video.
I just remember being stood there for so long, just trying to think of the right things to say, not wanting to mess up a take and have to do it again, but I was pretty nervous, I won't lie, I actually was really nervous. I'd never actually done any videos like that before. It's the first thing I'd ever done on YouTube, and I wanted to try and impress, obviously, being a football coach myself. I wanted to sound like, you know, I knew what I was talking about, but realistically, the main aim for me was making sure that kids were having fun at home. If they were to engage with my activities, take part in the sessions I was uploading, I just wanted them to have fun, re-engage themselves with football. And, you know, obviously with training and, you know, football matches being cancelled, this could be their main source of football. And obviously I didn't want that to sort of be a boring source, because obviously through lockdown I want to try and make the most of the time those kids have and not make sure that they're just stuck to their PlayStations and Xboxes for, you know, however many months we thought lockdown could last for. So yeah, I just remember being stood there for like half an hour just thinking of the right things to say. I was pretty nervous, but I just thought in the end, you know, after I've made my first video, it will become easier, you know, I'll become more confident. And you know, once I've released the video, if people see that and, you know, they quite like the content, that will motivate me to want to make more videos. So yeah, it was tough at first, but I just kept telling myself, you know, if the more videos I make, the more likely people are to see it, you know, they engage themselves with it, and then sort of, you know, share that content with each other, because a big part of football is community, you know, at all these clubs locally, even for the kids over in America on camp, you know, that feeling of community was just completely gone because of lockdown. So I wanted to try and build something where, you know, kids could engage with each other through the activities, the sessions, you know, challenge each other to see who could get the best scores, and that would, you know, push them to improve, you know, sort of improve their skills. So yeah, it was a tough start, but I just kept telling myself, you know, just push through it, you know, try not to think about what other people will, you know, say about it, even though, you know, I wasn't to know that people would back it so much and, you know, increase my confidence so much. But yeah, I just kept telling myself, you know, this is a plan that I've come up with, you know, it's a plan that I wanted to just test out, see how it would go, and, you know, just see where I went with that.
That's the one.
To come back on ourselves to the starting point in the same direction. And as you can see, the direction I'm travelling in is in that zigzag motion in the same way that a ski
So
slope
during the
sets out.
ski slope video, you started getting a lot of attention from your local area. Explain to me about that.
Yeah, it was the 11th session. I wanted to do a dribbling video, so I titled it the ski slope, because it was like, you watch the video, it's like a zigzag motion, you're dribbling in and out. You've got to do it 3 times, see how quickly you can do it. I put in brackets at the end of it, how to dribble like Lionel Messi, because he's like one of the main points that people search for on the internet. About 2 days later, after I found out about the views, I recognised that only 0.2% of the viewers came from people that searched Messi, but the rest of it was, it actually came from people around here finding out about my channel. It was the first time anyone in Wrexham actually knew about it, because originally it was meant to be people in America on the camp in Massachusetts. So people found out about the channel around here. One of my friends, he texted me and he said, I've just seen a YouTube channel, someone shared it on Facebook. He said, why didn't you tell anyone? But I said, you know, I didn't actually plan on actually telling anyone about it around here, because I didn't think it'd have the same effect as I was planning for it to have for the kids over in America. But what I should have realised is it's exactly the same as the kids over here have a massive passion for football. and in exactly the same way as the kids in America, you know, they were missing out on a lot of football during lockdown. So yeah, once one person shared it, I checked Facebook, my Instagram page. I ended up actually making a Facebook page. Quite nervous at first to see how people would react around there, a lot of my friends seeing it and stuff like that, but they fully supported it, you know, sharing all my stuff. And then parents of the kids that had visited camps previously, or you know, from players that play for Rose Airwood or just from the local area, people found out about it, they shared it, and they really thought it was something good, and that increased my confidence massively. You know, just knowing there was people that were supporting, you know, what I was doing, it was really good to see.
So I can remember this. The thing is, I did 10 sessions on my channel purely for the kids over in America. You know, there was no plan at all for me to share the content locally, like around in Wrexham, because I didn't really think it was the same sort of scope. You know, I obviously I was asked by the camp over in Massachusetts first to start this channel, and it was sort of an idea that I previously had as something I could maybe adapt for them. So I never really had the idea to share it locally. And I remember it was, you know, over in America on the camp, obviously those kids were meant to have 8 weeks on the camp socializing with each other and creating those memories, you know, learning all them skills of different sports. And being a football coach myself, you know, I wanted to sort of do something that would allow them to continue to develop their skills at home. But as soon as one person shared it and then my friend sent it to me, I said, oh, you know, a few people might find it, and that's all good. And the next day I was just getting so many messages saying, I've just seen your channel, you know, my friend sent me this, I've seen it shared on Facebook. And I really started to think, okay, well, a lot of people are starting to see this now. And it wasn't massive numbers, but you know, my videos were starting to, the views on the videos I previously released were starting to build slowly. And I was thinking, maybe there is now, you know, maybe there is some scope around in Wrexham for, you know, me to sort of promote my videos, and it might actually benefit people around here. So yeah, it was it was 2 days later I released the ski slope video, how to dribble like Messi. The next day I checked the views. It was actually my friend again, the same friend, texted me. He said, you know, I've seen your new video, have you seen the views on it? I said, no, why? He said, go and check it. I said, are you sure? I said, it can't be much different, but I checked it. It was only a day later, and it was on, I think it was like 350 views. And that was well over 3 times the amount of views I'd had on any video, and that was just in one day. So that was when I sort of saw that, and I said, you know, okay. I said there might be a chance for me to start doing something seriously here, you know, taking it seriously and sort of making more videos and, you know, actually making a big difference. Because obviously being a coach before lockdown, you know, made a big difference to a lot of people. I was a role model to a lot of kids that I coached. And obviously when all that shut down, you know, all these kids, they didn't have the chance to come out to camps, after school sessions, and then socialize with other kids in school as well. So, you know, my role as a role model was completely taken away, and I wanted to find a chance to sort of bring that back in a different way during lockdown.
So when I say that this week has been pretty mental for me, some of you might know what I mean, some of you might not. The first thing I want to talk about is this right here. Managed to make it into page 3 of the newspaper, which was absolutely amazing, and the article was also published online as well. It was an amazing review on my channel and the work that I have been doing to help you all re-engage with football during lockdown.
So recently you were in the local newspaper, The Leader, after the slope video got recognition.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It was about 5 or 6 days later. The video was out. Obviously a lot of people locally found out. I didn't know like how many people obviously, but the ski slope video was on about, it was like 350 views, which was like 3 times what I'd had in any other video, which was like, it was just mental really. Someone from The Leader rung me and asked for some more information for some quotes for an article, and about 4 days after that had passed, and I thought there's no sign of any article here. My mum one evening, about 4 days later after the phone call, she texted me, it was a WhatsApp actually, sent me a photo of this big article down the side of the newspaper about this Wrexham football fanatic, and this big picture that I'd sent to them was right at the top. And yeah, I think that was when I first realised I was making a big difference with it, because obviously, you know, I see comments on social media, on YouTube saying like people enjoying the videos, but once you get like a newspaper article about it and people then, you know, messaging you saying like how good of a job you've done and, you know, how you've helped people out in quite tough times, it's a special feeling to have, especially when, again, like I say, I was trying to fill my time during lockdown and replace the disappointment of America. It was yeah, it was massive being in the leading newspaper and seeing the article online as well. Something you won't forget, and it's something that just constantly will remind me in the future that, you know, the amount of effort that I put into coaching and, you know, just the efforts that I put in to try and make people happy in the process, it'll all definitely be worth it.
Not even just a newspaper, it was then online, it was on Twitter, it was on Facebook, and the amount, I just shared it straight away. I was like, I've got to share it on Facebook, on my Instagram, Snapchat, and for the next 24 hours, the response I had from that, from sharing that, and people reading that article it was honestly amazing. It was like, I spent 24 hours feeling on top of the world, literally. You know, putting all this hard work to, you know, give kids something back, you know, during lockdown, you know, something to engage with, you know, something to help improve their skills, keep them occupied, you know, help put a smile back on their face. And then to see that in a newspaper article, you know, everything I've worked towards, all put into that for people to see, it was really something. And I don't think I ever would have thought, if I wasn't into the newspaper for something like that, it would mean so much. But genuinely, like I said again, you know, putting in that hard work, which, you know, I always do. You know, everything I do, I try and put, you know, the hard work into it. But it was amazing. You know, it's hard to even describe now, just still knowing that, you know, the effort that was put in. You know, obviously starting from scratch with literally just a phone and a tripod, borrowed some equipment, and then just thinking of some creative ideas off the top of my head, and it all ended with that. And, you know, the feedback from then on, you know, the amount of people that were getting involved with the videos. You know, I was getting messages asking about, you know, if I was willing to do different types of videos, a quiz, which I then also went on to do on the channel, to a point where I've now got over like 2,000 views on the videos, watch times like over 4,000 minutes, like almost 10,000 channel impressions. It's a point in which I never thought I would have made it to that.
Consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
So, America, you were meant to be going there the summertime, but it got cancelled. What was your initial reaction to the day it got cancelled?
It was a shock. It was a real shock. I had my interview in January, and it went really well. I had 2 interviews through Skype after I put my application through, and from there I pretty much I was like set. You know, I'd heard off so many people what it was like there, and yeah, I think I really was just ready to take on that challenge. It was the next step. Obviously, I've done a lot of coaching around here in Wrexham now, but you know, I think it was just the next step for me. It was, you know, really something I wanted to just take to the next level. Obviously, lockdown happened way before I actually got the you know, the notification, the email saying it wasn't going to happen. But I started to tell myself, and you know, my people around me were telling me, saying you should probably prepare for it not to happen, because with what's going on, it's getting pretty serious. So yeah, I did prepare myself, maybe not as well as I could have, because when it did happen, it was a real shock, and I don't think you can actually prepare properly enough until, you know, you get it in a letter saying it's not going to happen. But yeah, luckily the one-to-ones came back, and I was well into the YouTube channel then as well. So, you know, it was just about, for me, just filling that time. You know, obviously the kids over in America could benefit from my YouTube channel as well, the stuff I was posting. So yeah, just again, I keep on saying it, you know, I always did say it on my YouTube channel, making sure I can be a positive role model, you know, as much as I can. And now that I knew I wasn't going to go to America, I just thought, you know, I could fill my time even more by putting lots of focus into the YouTube channel, you know, making quality videos. And yeah, it was a shock, but you know, I just had to adapt to that, as a lot of people did with their plans.
I want to say thank you to the 16 of you that came out for one-to-one sessions last week. It was amazing to see the response you'd all given, and it was amazing to also see you enjoying yourselves whilst playing football once again, as we are edging closer and closer for things to return to normal.
What was your thought process when planning the actual sessions with the whole new social distancing ruling coming in place?
That's the thing, isn't it? It's so much more different. You go in from coaching like a full football team, doing camps with like up to 50 kids in a week, like per day, and now you're doing the social distancing. So it did take a while to get used to that, but I think once I had so many plans in place before I started, I had about a week or 2 to actually sort out how I was going to do it. And yeah, after that was sorted, I think I had a good idea of how to engage those kids on a one-to-one basis, make sure they're making the most of the session, that full hour. And yeah, just, you know, again, just engaging them, improving our skills, making the most of the time they've got.
Progressive Sports got in touch with me saying, you know, the one-to-ones are coming back now. You know, then they're going to start to get busy really quickly, because, you know, parents wanted to get their kids, you know, straight back into football. and it was a fantastic opportunity for these kids to have some like really good coaching, have some like top quality coaches at Progressive Sports. Obviously I'm part-time working with Progressive Sports, so I didn't start straight away. I started after a few weeks when it started to get really busy. I then took over some of the one-to-ones because, you know, some of the full-time coaches were getting fully booked. So at that point I started, it was like 3 a week, I think. It wasn't that busy, but as time started to go on, you know, I was seeing my schedule for the week and I was just noticing the gaps that I had time off were starting to fill in. And as much as that was amazing, you know, obviously being so busy with the one-to-ones, being back into proper coaching, I started to have to think about what I was going to do with the channel, because obviously having to balance that, you know, returning to football training myself, starting the one-to-ones, and then the channel as well. You know, that's 3 things, and trying to balance that all out. I knew as one-to-one started to get busier, you know, that was going to get difficult. But, you know, I tried my best. Obviously, you know, my one-to-ones wasn't like 9 till 5. You know, there was gaps in between. And obviously some of the mornings or maybe 1 or 2 afternoons I'd have off. So if I had time off, I just said to myself, right, now is when I need to focus on getting a video done, you know, making the most of the time. If there's good weather outside, go and record a session outside. Or if the weather's not so good, right, what footage do I have? Can I edit some footage? Can I record some audio? You know, just doing what I can. I didn't really have a schedule at that point for videos, but I just wanted to just make as many videos as I could and just release them whenever I could, because I knew at that point I was doing my one-to-one sessions as well, and parents were asking me, you know, saying, oh, you know, we've seen your YouTube channel, because obviously Progressive Sports started to share the videos too, and parents were saying, you know, we've seen your videos, or you're doing the one-to-ones now, and as well as the parents asking for me to coach their child, because, you know, they've seen my videos and they saw, you know, I was quite a confident coach. They were then asking, you know, you're going to do more videos. So I knew in the back of my mind, I said, I need to try and keep doing these videos, because even though the one-to-ones are a priority and, you know, that was my job and I was getting paid for that, you know, I still in the back of my mind said, you know, these videos are helping a lot of people now. And even though the lockdown restrictions started to ease, you know, there were still a lot of kids and parents alike who didn't really feel comfortable with the whole idea of going straight back in with, you know, there still being a virus around. So, you know, the videos are still a great way for them to show their kids how they could still engage with football at home.
Morning, and as of the last 3 weeks that has been football camps, so it's straight down to the field at our venue, which is Pennakai Football Club. Make sure we have all the right equipment for the day's activities, and as you can see here, on Monday, which is the day I recorded, we had World Cup theme games such as Capture the Flag and World Cup football matches at the end of the day. As an overall,
what was it like going to summer camps?
Yeah, it was a shock again, just like the one-to-ones with that all happening. It's happened so quickly. I didn't really expect the government to make the announcement about kids being able to go back to playing football without the social distancing. It was kids, they announced as kids under the age of 11 don't have to keep their 2-meter distance with either kids of that age group or adults as well. So yeah, it was amazing, because then me and Progressive Sports, you know, my manager knew straight away, because they had to organise summer camps, and it was something we'd been waiting as an announcement for so long. And I think finally, once that announcement was made, we started to get plans done. It was 3 weeks full of summer camps here. Literally, it is an amazing pitch from Pennakai Football Club. We can't actually use that bit up there now, because that owns the club, or the club owns that part. But yeah, we were fortunate enough to use that. The first week was, it's hard to expect what's going to happen, because obviously parents, you know, they'll be wary about their kids going, you know, straight back into it, and, you know, still with there being a global pandemic going on, and the virus is still there. So, you know, I understood as a coach fully, you know, me and the other coaches fully understood the whole idea of that. But a lot of the kids who have been on camps before returned, and I think that was one amazing thing to see, is that they remembered being the other coaches, and, you know, they remembered the little things that we did to, you know, make sure they had the best time on the camp. So yeah, it was an amazing experience going back into those camps, and especially after America getting cancelled and me constantly trying to find ways of filling the time for my summer. You know, it was yeah, it was amazing to get back to it. And obviously the main thing is, you know, making sure those kids are happy. So, you know, once we achieved that, I think it was a successful summer.
I just really enjoy working on the camps, you know, that sort of environment where the kids can come and just play with their friends. You know, you put on really fun activities, you know, you're a role model towards them. You also have to try, you know, be on the level of those kids, you know, sort of relatable to them. So, you know, if they find any problems on the camp, you know, or problems with other kids or coaches, you know, they come to speak to the coaches and, you know, sort of just discuss their problems, because you don't want those kids to feel left out. But yeah, it was 3 weeks full of just absolutely like hectic work. You know, we were literally, the first week was like boiling in the hot sun, literally Monday 9 a.m. until Friday 3 p.m. when we finished. It was just like mental weather all week. We were pretty much fully booked up to 30 for the full week. I just remember, I thought the week before we started, I thought when we start these camps, I don't think there'll be a lot of the same ones that I've coached before, because the last camp we'd done before that was the end of February. It was in Pennyforth, and I thought, it's a football camp this time instead of multi-sports, which I did in Pennyforth. So I thought, I wonder if there'll be a lot of the same kids, and obviously you don't know if the parents will still want the kids to come to the camp, because there is obviously still that small risk, of there being a virus out there. Even though everything is sanitized and is, as safe as it possibly can be, the virus, it is deadly, it's dangerous. So you obviously, you empathize with the parents on that point of view. You think some of them might not want their kids to come to camp, but as soon as you turn up Monday 9 a.m, you've got all your equipment there, and you start to see those kids come back and that they remember you as a coach. I think that's probably one of the best feelings you can have, because you definitely know at that point, if you've coached a kid before and they come back to a camp and they recognize you and they remember you, and they also remember stuff you said, the stuff that made them laugh last time, and the memories they gained from that's priceless, because some of the things you say with a kid on camp, that could resonate with them, that could stay with them for a long time. So that's why I keep on saying, when I'm on my channel, when I'm doing one-to-ones, when I'm coaching a football team, anything like that, I just want to constantly just be a role model, because I said in the Q&A video a few weeks ago, I'm the youngest person in my entire family tree. So for me as a coach, getting that chance of being a role model to younger people, your generation following me, is amazing, because I get to sort of guide them, give them advice on, because obviously I've been their age and I've grown up. And I get the opportunity to, as well as obviously making sure they have a great time on the camp, but also sort of guide them and sort of make sure that they're not on the wrong path. Especially if kids fall out on a camp, you don't want that to stick with them. You don't want them to hold that grudge for the rest of the week. You want to have to teach them how to sort of make up over that falling out. Sort of just learn to get along and learn to accept apologies. Just be able to get over that, because obviously if two kids fall out, that could resonate with the whole camp, that could follow on just like a bad vibe in general for the full camp, and you don't really want that. So yeah, it's just all the little things, like I said, seeing those kids on that Monday, knowing that they remember you and the stuff you said, being able to teach them valuable lessons, make them laugh, have a good time, because when they go home at the end of the day, the parents are going to say to them, what did you do today? And if they say, I didn't really get up to much, then the parents are going to say, I don't really know if I want you to go back then, so you're not having fun. That's why the kids are there, and they'll have the best time if they're having fun, and they'll be confident if they're having fun. That's the main thing, just building an inclusive environment for them, which is, I think, probably why I just enjoy working on camps in general, and I was just really glad to see them back.
Now I am 2 weeks away from moving into university in Birmingham, so the videos will be coming to a stop at that time, but as I get into university, who knows, I might start to make more videos, and it'll be a little bit different and some new content for you all to watch whilst I am in Birmingham.
So with you moving to Birmingham for university in the next few weeks, what's going to happen to the channel from here?
I can't really give it like a detailed explanation for that, really, because obviously moving into university, it's like brand new life for me. It's a new start, living on my own, getting to know new people, new surroundings, new course. It's completely different for me, but the plan is for me to keep going. Obviously I've seen now how many people it's helped, and it's made a big difference, and it's a good way of showing my coaching, and obviously for kids to be able to do the activities at home themselves, it's a safe environment for them, and it's an environment that they can be a part of no matter what in their own homes. So yeah, definitely I want to try and keep going. Obviously with new environment in university, there'll be new ideas from me. I'll obviously meet people that are like-minded and who might want to work with me, might be doing similar things. So yeah, the plan for me is definitely just to keep going with stuff like that.
And I'd say it to everyone else now as well, if that's the one lesson I've learned, is that if you're gonna pursue something, don't have any regrets about trying to share it with other people and trying to promote yourself, because everyone's got goals, dreams and stuff like that. So my goal was obviously to just be a positive role model. And looking back on the summer now, moving to university soon, when I look back on this summer and years to come, I will think, you know, I did achieve my goal, but that was only through, you know, people finding out about the channel, because that then, you know, allowed it to spread more. You know, there was a lot more awareness about it. I did help a lot more people than I'd originally planned. So yeah, that's the one thing I'd say, you know, to anyone watching this now, you know, kids watching, parents alike, you know, any ages, you know, I would literally just say, yeah, if you met me before, you know now, but I'm only confident through the fact that I pursue my goals, and I've had no regrets in just being myself in the process. So, you know, just be yourself. Honestly, I can say that from the bottom of my heart. You know, it is hard sometimes because it's so easy nowadays as well to follow the crowd, but yeah, I would definitely just, you've seen what I've done now. When I look back, I will say I was glad that I was myself. You know, I was glad that I just pursued the goals I did, because, you know, it definitely changed my summer.
So that's it, that is the documentary, and it was amazing for me to be able to film this, to show you a sort of a summary of everything I've done over the summer. And yeah, like I always say, and I always have said, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunities I've had to be able to provide you content during the main part of lockdown, then also continue doing videos and filling in that time where I was supposed to be in America for this summer. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave it a like, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on, as obviously I'm moving to university now, but I don't want this to be the end of my channel. I'm going to hopefully settle into university and then think of some brand new ideas of how I can bring you more content on this channel. For one last time, I want to say a super massive thank you to everyone that subscribed to this channel, everyone that supported and watched my videos. It's been an absolutely amazing experience for me, and then also getting to meet a lot of you in one-to-one sessions on summer camps, my feedback from my channel, and you've also just helped me become super confident this summer. So I thank you once again for all of your support. But for one last time this summer, I'll see you all in the next video.